My name is Nora, and I'm 33 years old. I'm a mother to 3 lovely daughters, Ma, Grace, and Luna. They mean everything to me. My world begins and ends with them. Life, however, hasn't treated me kindly. My mother passed away when I was still young, and years later, my husband abandoned us right after Luna was born. T walked out of our lives without a backward glance. No calls, no letters, no money. It was as if we had never existed to him. Since that day, I've been on my own, raising my 3 girls without anyone's help. There's no family to lean on, no fancy home, and no financial cushion to fall back on. We live in a small apartment in Willow Creek, and every month brings the same worries: rent, food, bills. I don't have a degree or a stable career, but I've learned to be strong. Giving up isn't an option. I work as an independent cleaner. There's no agency behind me, just my own 2 hands, and a few cleaning supplies I carry from place to place. Every month, I search for homes and offices that need cleaning. My days start early and often stretch deep into the night. I scrub floors, wash bathrooms, empty trash cans, whatever it takes to make ends meet. Some clients treat me kindly, offering a smile or a warm word. Others act as if I'm invisible or worse, don't pay at all. But no matter how hard it gets, I keep going. Can't afford to stop. I need money. For rent, for food, for my daughter's clothes. I work when I'm exhausted. I work through illness. I even work through tears. At night, when my girls are asleep, I often sit beside them quietly. Watching them breathe softly brings me peace. Touch their little hands, kiss their foreheads, and whisper, "I love you." I dream of giving them a life better than Mina, life filled with comfort, safety, and joy. But the truth is, the world isn't kind to people like me. One cold evening, after finishing a late cleaning job, I was walking my daughters home. The weather, with brutal dark skies, heavy rain, and slick frozen sidewalks. Held my hand tightly while Grace and little Luna followed close behind. "Mama, I'm cold," Luna murmured, shivering. She was only 5. "I know, sweetheart," I said softly. "We'll be home soon." I wrapped my scarf around her tiny shoulders and held her close. The street was quiet, the lights dim. I gripped my daughter's hands as the wind howled through the empty road. My hands were trembling, a mix of cold and unease. Then, suddenly there was a blinding light, a deafening crash, and a sharp, searing pain. Everything went dark. When I opened my eyes again, I was staring at a white ceiling. The steady beeping of machines echoed around me, and the sharp scent of disinfectant filled the air. I realized I was in a hospital. I tried to sit up, but my body refused to move. My head throbbed. My arms felt weak, and then it hit me. The accident. My daughters. Where are they? I tried to whisper, my voice barely escaping my dry throat. Emma, Grace, Luna. Each name came out broken and weak. My chest ached with fear. A nurse appeared beside me, her face calm and kind. She offered a gentle smile and said softly, "Please don't move too much. You've been through a terrible accident." "My daughters," I croaked. My daughters. She reached out, resting her hand over mine with quiet reassurance. "They're here," she said kindly. "They're safe." Tears blurred my vision as relief washed over me. "I want to see them," I whispered. Moments later, the door burst open. 3 tiny figures rushed into the room, their voices trembling with emotion. "Mama." They cried in unison. They ran straight to me, wrapping their little arms around my neck, kissing my cheeks, holding my hands as if they would never let go. I broke down, hugging them with every bit of strength I had left. Then the doctor entered, his face serious. "Mrs. Nora," he began, "you've suffered a broken leg. You'll need surgery and several weeks of recovery." Panic surged through me. I couldn't afford to rest. "But I have to work," I murmured desperately. "I have to pay the rent. I have to feed my children." The doctor sighed, his eyes filled with sympathy. "You need to rest," he said softly. "Your body can't heal if you keep pushing it." And that's when I remembered something even worse. The cleaning supplies I had borrowed from a friend were destroyed in the accident. And, to make matters worse, I had accidentally damaged the glass front of a luxury store during the crash. The owner demanded $20,000 for repairs. I had nothing. No savings. No way out. I buried my face in my hands and wept uncontrollably. My daughters held on to me, their small arms trembling. They cried too, though they didn't understand the full weight of what had happened. I felt completely defeated, hopeless, lost, broken. But the next morning, everything began to change. Someone had shared my story online. Strangers from all over read about my life, saw the photos of my daughters, and learned how we struggled just to survive. Messages of love and prayers began flooding in. People donated what they could. They wanted to help. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang. Thoys. The voice on the other end was deep and calm. "I heard your story," the man said. "Want to help you." I froze. "Who are you?" "Day," I asked cautiously. "You'll find out soon," he replied. 2 days later, a small group of people arrived at the hospital carrying flowers, fruits, and warm clothes for my girls. A young man stepped inside. His expression was gentle. Skier. His eyes held a quiet kindness. He walked toward me, smiling softly. "You don't know me," he said, sitting beside my bed, "but I know about you." Confused, I asked, "Why would you want to help me?" Smiled faintly. "Because I can." I couldn't stop my tears. "Pa, I don't know what to say." He placed a hand over mine and said, "You don't need to say anything." Days later, something miraculous happened. The young man and his team paid every single one of my hospital bills. I no longer had to worry about money. At least for the moment. But that wasn't the end. One afternoon, they came to visit Aganand. This time, they asked me and my daughters to come with them. We drove for a while, until we reached a quiet neighborhood. There, standing before us, was a large, beautiful house. "This is for you," they said. I stared at the house, my heart pounding, could barely breathe. "For me," I whispered. "Yes," the young man said, smiling. "You'll never have to pay rent again. This home is yours." My knees gave out. I fell to the ground, crying uncontrollably. My daughters clung to me, their little faces wet with tears. "Is this real?" I asked through my sobs. "It's real," they assured me. This is your new beginning." I pulled my girls close and whispered, "We finally have a home." Weeks passed, and one day, the young man visited again. "Tell me," he said, "what is your biggest dream?" Tears. I wiped away my tears and smiled faintly. "I've always wanted to open my own bakery." His smile widened. "Then, let's make it happen." And he did. A few months later, I stood proudly in my very own bakery. The air smelled of warm bread and sweet pastries. Customers came in with smiles, and for the first time in my life, I felt free. No longer was I the struggling cleaner fighting to survive. I was a business owner, a provider, a woman reborn through hope and kindness. That young man changed everything for me. He reminded me that there are still good people in this world, people who care, who lift others when they fall. I began with nothing, and now I have everything: a home, a thriving business, and a family filled with laughter. Thank you, my dear reader, for sharing this moment with me. Your kindness, your faith, and your support mean more than words can express. Remember this, no matter how dark life gets, compassion can light the way. Hold on to hope, believe in the goodness of others, and never lose faith in the promise of a better tomorrow.